What's up, Texans fans? It's your man Chess White, aka Jargon2, born and raised in H-Town, and in this video we're going to be talking about Week 3, the Texans going on the road to play the Jaguars. Now this game is 32 days away. Week 3 is when the NFL season really starts to heat up. Forget about those teams in the NFC that we got to play Week 1 and 2. This is all about being the kings of the South, man. Going into that stadium and beating the Jags and setting the tone for another AFC South championship. This game means a lot right here. I'm really looking forward to this one. So, what happened in the offseason? Well, the Jaguars traded up and they got Travis Hunter. Is he going to play both sides of the ball? Looks like he is. Trevor Lawrence has not yet become an elite QB. He's got the tools. Physically, he's very gifted, first overall pick. He's got good players around him, but he has never gotten to that elite tier. Now, when they took Brian Thomas Jr. last year, that was a player that I really wanted the Texans to go and get. We brought in Steph Diggs and had Diggs, Dell, and Nico as our little trio. But look at the height, weight, speed of Brian Thomas Jr. He's an absolute beast, and he's only going to get better in year 2. So when I take a look at the Jags on offense, Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby in the backfield, both very good running backs. Jacksonville has had a history of good running backs. Fred Taylor, MJD. You got Travis Etienne, a little bit on the smaller side. Same with Tank Bigsby, but very shifty, good speed, good receiving backs out of the backfield. Now at tight end, they haven't really had a dominant player. Ed Ingram is gone, and you're looking at Brenton Strange at the tight end spot. Someone I'm not really afraid of. And Lawrence has the tendency to hold the ball in the pocket. So just like with almost every game on this schedule, I'm going to talk about the significance of the Texans defensive ends rushing these QBs. It's going to be all season. It's not just going to be our starting D-line either. Our D-line is 8 players deep. You've got Nick Barnett, and then they brought in Darrell Taylor to be rushers on Team 2. And then you've got Mario Edwards Jr. and Togiai. We have got an incredibly good defensive line, and this defense has potential to be top 5 in the league very easily if everyone is healthy and playing up to their potential. So what does Jacksonville like to do on offense? Well, their offensive philosophy has been mostly spread. They haven't really been an I formation power running team in a long time. They've had a lot of turnover at the offensive coordinator spot. But this is the matchup that I'm looking forward to probably the most after week 1, because getting off 1-0 in the division is really important. When I take a look at that Jacksonville defense, what I'm seeing is beasts on the D-line. Is that a theme? Definitely. Weeks 1, 2, and 3. Now you've got to go up against Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, first overall pick, Eric Armstead from the 49ers. They brought over Kalen Saunders from New Orleans and Devon Hamilton. Couple solid linebackers, Devin Lloyd, Aluakun. Very speedy players right there. Maybe the secondary is not so good compared to these other 2 teams. And they signed Eric Murray from the Texans. Was he one of our best players? No, but he had that pick 6 in the playoffs, and he's a solid safety. You got Tyson Campbell. You got Yasir Abdullah, Jarian Jones, and Andrew Wingard. I'm not really afraid of this secondary. This was the first game that CJ ever won, was on the road against Jacksonville. I think the Texans are going to go into Jacksonville and beat them this year in week 3. I think that our whole team, top to bottom, 53-man roster is better. What are those first 2 weeks going to look like? We don't know. Could the Texans fall to 0-2? Yes, it's not likely. But if you are 0-2, then this becomes a must-win game. If you're coming off of those first 2 weeks at 1-1, you have to feel good about yourself, kind of starting over, turning the page. Those NFC teams are done for a minute, and now it's time to go and beat the Jags and then the Titans the following week. So when I look at the matchups, it's going to be similar every week. I think our 3rd best wide receiver and 4th best wide receiver are better than the Jags' 3rd and 4th best DB. I think our defensive ends are going to eat. I don't think Jacksonville has anybody who's going to lock down Nico. And don't forget, this is the Christian Kirk game. After spending his first 4 years with the Cardinals, he spent 3 seasons in Jacksonville. and he is a very solid player. I'm really looking forward to seeing if he is going to step up and be everything that we wanted Diggs to be and Tank Dell to be, which is a competent number 2 wide receiver, somebody who can work out of the slot, move the chains, be a veteran, show good hands. And you know Christian Kirk is going to want to play well in this game. So when the Texans have the ball, it is going to be all about efficiency and execution. I don't care who has the stats. I don't care who scores the touchdowns, man. Just move the ball, no negative plays, no penalties, and put points on the board every time that they have a possession. Because I think Nick Caley is changing the mentality of this team, playing on the defensive side of the line of scrimmage, moving bodies, being more physical, protecting CJ. And are we going to see Nick Chubb at this point still in the season? It looks like it to me. I don't see Mixon coming back right off the bat. He has not practiced. He hasn't played preseason. And there haven't really been any indications on the status of his injury. We let go of J.J. Taylor. Dameon Pierce is still healthy. And every time that we play against the Jags, Pierce seems to play at a high level. One of the best runs of his career was against the Jags. You guys remember it well. Refusing to go down and won the angry runs of the week. If we've got Dameon in there, I'm looking forward to seeing him run over some Jags. If we got Woody Marks out there, I'm looking forward to him being a good receiving option out of the backfield. And look, I don't care about the stats. At the end of the day, it's all about getting a dub. One dub after another and stacking those dubs so that you are at the highest seed possible in the AFC towards the end of the season. We do have our expectations high as Texans fans, and we should. This is a damn good football team. But you can never overlook your divisional opponents, and you can only take it 1 week at a time. That's the coach speak. But that is what this game really is. It does not matter what your record is on any given Sunday. In the NFL, you better bring it, and you better not overlook anybody. And so I'm not overlooking the Jags. To me, they're the biggest threat to the Texans in the division. And just today, the Colts said that they are not going to start Anthony Richardson. They're going to roll with Daniel Jones, which to me drops their threat level a lot. Because if Anthony Richardson were to put it all together, then they are, to me, a truly dangerous team. Now, Anthony Richardson has not put it together. And based on the situation in Indy, I'm saying Jacksonville right now is number 2, and this could be a playoff team. Last year, the South was trash, okay? This year, we might have a potential for 2 playoff teams, with the most likely one being the Jags. What does Jacksonville do well? Historically, they play good defense, and they run the football. But they're becoming more of a passing team, so they brought over Liam Cohen to be their head coach. He was the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That Tampa Bay offense last season was top 5 in rushing and passing. Baker's best season of his career. So what did they like to do? They were getting the ball to Mike Evans. They were running the football with Bucky Irving. Some of these things that we talked about last week. So Liam Cohen is going to try to put his stamp on this team and turn it into an offensive team. And I actually think that that's a good direction for them because you have all this investment in Lawrence. They've extended him, and now they've gotten him the weapons, and now they need to start putting up points. And I think that the coaching matchup is in our favor again. I love what D'Amico is doing with this team and the mentality. Jacksonville has been a roller coaster team in this division. Some years they're up, they're in the playoffs, they have an elite defense and a smash mouth team with a good running game. Other years, they're in the top 5 of the draft. Everything falls apart. Coach is fired, out the door. But bringing in Travis Hunter, it is a big deal. Most people had him as number 1 on the big board going into the draft. And we're going to see what he's going to put together as a rookie. But Liam Cohen is a first-time head coach, and there is a learning curve at the NFL level. We saw D'Amico make some of those mistakes in his rookie season with time management, with challenges, with calling the right plays, with balancing being a coordinator and trying to be a head coach at the same time. So I really like D'Amico to put his stamp on the division right here, and I like the Texans to go in and win this game. And I don't make predictions on the scores, but look, I don't care what Vegas has to say about the point spread. I don't care about the fantasy football. I don't care about the social media nonsense. What I want to talk about on this channel, and I'm only going to talk about on this channel, is what the Texans need to do to get dubs, and analysis of each game. What did they do well? What did they not do well? Now, in their home stadium in September, the weather's probably going to be perfect for football. Sunshine and good temperatures. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how are these two teams going to look early in the season. So tell me what y'all think is going to happen in the game. Put your area codes in the chat. Tell me who your favorite Houston rapper is. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.